Hey everyone, welcome to Build Series. I'm your host, Lauren Moraski. You know our next guest from How I Met Your Mother and Friends from College. She's also graced the big screen in many a Marvel film, from the Avengers to Captain America, the Winter Soldier. What you may not know is that actress Cobie Smulders was diagnosed with ovarian cancer at the age of 25. She's here to talk about raising awareness about the disease, but before that, take a look at this.
Ovarian cancer is devastating and difficult to diagnose. It's often only caught in advanced stages, and 4 out of 5 women will see the deadly disease return.
I knew when ovarian cancer recurs,
it's often incurable.
It was terrifying, waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Until recently, following chemotherapy, women with recurrent ovarian cancer had to simply watch and wait for their disease to come back.
well, we say,
Not on my watch.
Not on my watch.
Not on my watch. Now, with maintenance therapies, women can extend their time in response and delay recurrence.
knowledge and awareness of your choices empowers you.
And gives you a greater sense of control.
Let's call for a change in ovarian cancer care.
The Not on My Watch movement empowers women facing recurrent ovarian cancer to take an informed and active role in managing their disease. Visit notonmywatch.com to learn more.
All right, please welcome Cobie Smulders, everyone.
Hi, everybody. I love that there's people here.
I know, it's a good energy, right?
It's a great, how's everyone doing?
Everybody's great, right?
Okay,
Yeah, we're really excited. This is your first time with us at Build.
Yes.
We're really excited. And you're living in New York now. Too.
No, I was. I just
Okay.
moved away.
Oh, you just, where'd you move?
We moved back to Los Angeles.
Okay, all right.
Yes, yeah. But I love the city and I miss it very much.
Okay, well, we're...
But yeah, this is such a cool space.
Yeah. Well, we are so excited to have you here. And we're talking about a really important topic today.
Yes.
You know, like I said in the intro, not everyone knows that you were diagnosed with ovarian cancer at a very young age.
Yes.
And let's just go back to the beginning at that
of
point.
course.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm now so happy to talk about it.
Yeah.
for a long time in my life, I was like, I don't want to talk about it. But yes, I was diagnosed when I was 25 years old. And I was diagnosed with borderline cancer, which means that your cancer is not quite malignant. It's not quite benign. It's in this wonderful gray area. And I had to have multiple surgeries to remove tumors, and luckily was able to keep my reproductive parts and had my children. But it was a very weird time. I mean, it was a very dark time, and I'm so happy and grateful to be on the other side of it now, and to be providing some guidance and support to women who are facing it now.
When you found out for the first time, were there signs? What brought you to the doctor?
Yeah, sure. I was feeling general pressure, and I was very lethargic. And I went to the doctor, and everything seemed to be okay. And then a couple months later, there was a giant tumor that I then had to have removed. So ovarian cancer is it's very fast, and so it's really important for women to be on top of their health, and especially just with I've been talking a lot today about just general body awareness and how everybody should be. I'm looking at all of you in the audience. Everybody should be listening to your body, because your body is so smart,
Yeah.
it's so intelligent, and it will tell you when there is something going on that you need to focus on. And I think in this day and age, there's so much going on, and there's such noise that it's important to sort of tune that out every once in a while and listen to yourself and make sure that you're okay mentally, that you're okay physically, and to be in charge of your own health.
I can't even imagine being 25 years old, because this is something not on your radar. You're not thinking about this.
I mean, it's so, I keep saying, now I'm 10 years out, and it's like, it's so unreal to me, because I never had to really think about it in a life-death situation. Luckily, I knew that it was something that I could treat, that I was going to have to fight, but I was going to be okay. It was more of a fertility concern. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't even thinking. I was 25 years old. I wasn't even thinking about having kids, and all of a sudden, all these new questions I'm thinking about. And so it was definitely a challenging time in my life, but I'm stronger for it.
Yeah.
And I have so much education and so much more insight on my body and what my needs are, and how to control my stresses when they arise. And I think it's important that everybody should know those things.
What kind of, I know you said you had surgeries.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that and then talk a little bit about this campaign because this is more about maintenance therapies as well.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I was lucky enough to, like you said, just have surgeries to remove tumors from my ovaries. And luckily enough, I was able to keep most of my ovarian tissue and have children. And I didn't have to do chemotherapy or anything like that, thank goodness, because it can just be physically and mentally, emotionally, very taxing. But yeah, it's basically what we're here to do is start this campaign. You just saw the PSA. All those women in the commercial and in the PSA are cancer survivors. And it was really important for me to have them be a part of it because it's personal. Sure. It's a personal story, and everybody's story is different when dealing with cancer. And we want people to use us as a resource, to go to the website, to find out what kind of treatment options are available to them. I think that everybody, if you're faced with this kind of diagnosis, you should go and talk to your doctor at first, and also check out this website. I will also say, like, I was faced with an insane statistic when I started this campaign, which is 85% of women who have advanced ovarian cancer have a recurrence. So this is something that can unfortunately come back. I mean, even me as a cancer survivor have to live with the fear of maybe it coming back one day. I mean, that's just sort of a part of the process. But you don't have to sit around and watch and wait.
Right.
That's what this whole thing is about, we want you to be proactive. We want you to have all of the education that you can have, because I really, truly believe that knowledge is power, and it is the best way that you're going to be able to fight your disease.
With that, what are you doing on a regular basis or a yearly basis to sort of make sure that you're in check? Because, like you said, it can come back.
Yes, of course.
And, how did that change your life? In that
Yeah,
way?
I mean, I'm much healthier now. I eat a very good diet. I think the biggest change for me, because I was always a very healthy, active person, but I think for me, it was more about taking care of me mentally, about learning how, when I'm stressed or overwhelmed, how to deal with that. I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but what I do a lot of times is go, I'll do it next week. You know what? I'm going to chill out on the weekend. I'm just going to take the weekend off. And then you just you bust through the week trying to get everything done. And you wear yourself out, and it's exhausting. And I'm constantly trying to check myself on that and make sure that I am taking the best care of myself, and to be kind to yourself. I think that we're constantly, taking on too much. And I think it's really important to be really kind to yourself.
I think that's good advice no matter what you're going through,
Yes.
really. I mean, it's really great insight. When you were diagnosed, you were like season 3 of How I Met Your Mother, right? Or season 2 or something?
I can't remember what season, but we were in it. And I think, I wasn't really in this place where I'm so happy now that I'm sort of out of the patient place, and I'm now looking back on my time and experience with this disease, because when you're in it, you just sort of you do what you got to do to care for yourself, to survive, and luckily I was employed.
Yeah.
I mean, thank God I had insurance, and I was employed, and I was surrounded by love and support. And was able to kind of to get through it, but yeah, it was tough times.
What would you say is the biggest misconception about ovarian cancer that maybe people don't realize?
It's dubbed as the silent killer. I remember hearing that within weeks of my diagnosis, and I was just like, oh boy, that is not a good title. And I think it's it's not easy to find. It is not. It's not, if you have breast cancer, you have mammograms, there are screening things available to you. But with ovarian cancer, it is a little bit more tricky, and you do have to be just a little bit more on top of your general health. Obviously, there are genetic markers involved with ovarian cancer as well. I didn't have that, so it's an interesting, thought. But that is one way. If there's cancer in your family, it's another way to sort of know or think that that's a possibility for you. But it really, for me, it was so much about just being in tune with my body and going, something is not right.
Yeah.
I need to go to a doctor. I need to get some help. And I did, and I don't think if I hadn't done that, I don't know what would have happened, because it moves on you so quickly.
You know, at the same time, you kept it quiet for quite some time,
Yes.
really, and you came out a few years ago. I think it was like a Lenny letter or something, and you talked a little bit about it.
Yes.
What was behind the decision at that time to sort of say, you know what, I'm going to come out with this and share my story?
Yeah, I think I felt like I had a handle on the disease. I felt like I was in recovery. I wasn't actively like waiting on results. I wasn't. I wasn't sitting around and watching and waiting for like, what's the next thing gonna be? Like, I had sort of, my treatment plan was in motion, and I felt like I had a better handle on it. Also, like I feel when you go through something like this, you don't want to be seen as, you don't want to be labeled as that. You want to be as positive as possible. And I think a lot of times when people get sick, you get a lot of sympathy, which is wonderful. But then at the same time, you're trying to get healthy, so you don't want to be seen as sick, and you don't want to be seen as weak. And I think it was helpful for me to keep it personal. I'm also a very personal person, but now I'm in this place in my life where we have to help each other. and even since I wrote that Lenny letter essay, so many women have come up to me and shared their experiences, and I think that is really the direction to go in. If you are facing something like this, like upon reflection, really what I should have done is reached out to a community. I really should have sought out other women, help, I wish I had a website like this when I was going through my health issues. But to find this information and this group of people that you can sort of converse with and learn things from, because I just said, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna figure it out, I'm gonna do all this research, I'm gonna figure this out. And that worked for me, but now I'm like, it would have been easier. Yeah. It would have been easier if I asked for a little bit more help, which I hope women will do.
And body image plays a role in all of this too.
Yes.
Kind of talk a little bit about that and how you were able to sort of be okay with that and sort of, think, okay, I'm great the way I am no matter what happens.
Yeah, I mean, as an actor, you're always sort of you're looked at physically a lot. But I think to me, the way that I look at my body now is different than maybe I looked at it before. Because I have so much gratitude, but I'm also so amazed with what it's accomplished. I mean, not only has it beat cancer, it's birthed two babies. Yeah. So, you have to think of your body not as how it's portrayed to the world, but how it's bringing you through this world. And really, I have so much more respect for my body than I did, I think, before I went through this. And learned to treat it a lot better.
And there was a time, you have two girls now, and you had two children. There's a time where they said maybe you might not be able to have children naturally.
Oh yeah, for sure. Which was a big hit for me. I always wanted to have kids, and I love children. And so that was the hardest thing that I had to work through. And luckily, not have to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, and here we are. Where some people are fortunate enough to get help when they're infertility issues. But
yes.
at the heart of a lot of discussion these days is reproductive rights and everything. I mean, what would you like to see for all women?
Well, I think it's about having control of your own body, your own health, your own choices. I mean, we're here today to sort of really say that there's this website, you can go to your doctor, there's so many more options. And I think that comes with education. I think that comes with just the time evolving and the choices that we now have. And I'm really excited to live in a day and age where we have options available to us.
Yeah, even if sometimes they could be put at risk at times. Sometimes I feel like that could be, it could be around the corner. We won't let that happen, right? At the same time, you've been really busy. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
It's I can't even keep up with what you're doing, but I do love Friends from College, and I'm really excited for season 2, which is about to premiere really soon.
Yeah, it's coming out early next year, I believe. We shot it here in New York over the spring, which was awesome. I love working and shooting in the city. You guys New Yorkers are so funny. You'll be shooting a scene outside in the middle of a scene and someone will just walk through. Yeah. Nobody cares. It's fantastic.
How many of you have done that before, right? Okay, a couple of you, right?
She's like, I did that.
Yeah.
That was me. which I just love and kind of gives this other energy to the movie or to the show. It's really wonderful, and it's also just like beautiful. We got to shoot at some beautiful locations this season too, so it was great.
And what a cast. What's it, I mean,
yes.
Keegan-Michael Key,
Yeah.
Fred Savage.
Yeah.
I mean, what's it like being surrounded by all those funny characters?
They're the best. We have so much fun. It's crazy and it's funny. And Nick Stoller and his wife Francesca, they lead the way with that. I mean, they write such amazing episodes and allow us to play with the dialogue and allow us to sort of just kind of make ourselves laugh all day.
Oh, that's
it's wonderful.
It's great. Well, you make us laugh watching it too.
Oh, thank you.
As well.
Thank you.
Anything you can tease about what we can expect during season 2 or how it'll advance season 1? The season 1 I think ended
was-
like with a
yeah.
crazy pool
I know, it was
situation, if I
weird.
remember. Yeah.
You know, it's a very dark comedy,
Yeah.
you guys. So it's more of that. There's not as many like secrets. I feel like the first season there was this big secret that we were kind of carrying throughout. So I do feel like it's a little bit lighter. It's a little bit it's more on the comedy side. But there, you know, like life, there's a balance.
Yeah.
There's darkness as well.
I think it's a really relatable series, actually.
yeah.
So there's like a lot that, you know, the everyday person can say, okay, I've
Yeah.
been there.
Yeah.
I've done
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So
I hope not for everything.
Whatever everything, but it is.
There's
On some, but on some level it is.
Yes, yeah.
So, and you were just in a film where it was completely improvised.
Oh, yes,
my
yeah, that one just
goodness.
came out. Yeah, that was, well, it's called All Right Now here in the States. When we shot it in Europe, it's called Songbird. But yeah, it was completely improvised, shot over 5 days in Cardiff. I hope I have that right. I got it wrong once and I got yelled at. They're all like, all these towns, they're all weird accents. And it was so fun. It was so crazy. I mean, I don't know how we managed to make a movie.
I don't even how you do that.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have like an outline of where you're
There's
going?
a general outline,
Okay.
and then there are, you know, every day there's like a to-do list.
Mm-hmm.
There is making sure that we have like this, but in the middle of scenes we know, okay, we're going to this next scene, so we have to make mention that I'm leaving to go to, you know, there's certain things that you have to hit. Okay. But it was a great challenge for me. It's why I did it, because I like to put myself in weird positions like that where I challenge myself, and it was a big challenge trying to make sense of it all, but it was fun.
How big of a challenge was it for you to do your Broadway debut here recently?
Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me all of these things that I haven't
That's
thought
why I said
about
I have a
now.
hard
Yeah.
time keeping up. You're busy.
It was fantastic. I did Present Laughter, which is a Noel Coward play here. Last year, I think we finished like July of last year. I can't remember, but it was so great. I'd always wanted to do a play. Do something on Broadway here, and I can't believe I got to do it. Kevin Kline played the lead, and it was just it was a dream. It was a dream. It was very stressful because it was an accent and it was a period piece somewhat, and it was and it's just intimidating. But I had so much fun.
More Broadway in your future, perhaps?
I'd love to. I live
Yeah?
in California now, so it's tricky commute.
I know. You left us.
Yes, I did.
But you have the 2 girls there. How are they doing? How
They're
old are they
lovely.
now?
They're 9 and almost 4, and Halloween is coming up, and it's an interesting time.
Yeah. What are they going to be? Do they have costumes?
We're not
yet?
like, I know it's like a week out, but we're not quite there yet.
Okay.
It's you know, it's hard. There's so many options now.
Yeah.
There was like a ghost and a witch back in the day. I'd be like, all right. I remember like when I was a kid, it would just be it'd be like more decades. Like, I'm going to be a hippie.
Yeah.
I'm going to be
Punk
like,
rocker.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It was more thematic and than actual, you know, characters. So we're still figuring it out.
All right, cool. Well, How I Met Your Mother's been gone for how many years now? 4 or 5 years? It's when I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's crazy how long. How do you feel about the end of how that ended? How the future of Robin, Ted, sort of finale?
I mean, it was the great thing about the ending of our show was, I mean, a lot of people liked it, a lot of people didn't like
yeah.
it. It was very, it was very split. The cool thing was we shot, and it's so funny because I just moved and I've been going through all these old pictures of that time, and it's like, whoa, It's a long time on that show. But it was 9 years. And I think what a lot of people don't understand is that we shot scenes within that first year that we then aired 9 years later. So it's like, to be able to have that happen on a like, that doesn't happen. Usually you get a pilot, you do the pilot of the TV show, and if it gets picked up, then you get 13 episodes. And then if that goes okay, then you get 9 more episodes. And if you're lucky, you get a second season. Like, we were so lucky to have that long of a time to be able to play around with these characters so much and see it through the way that the creators wanted to see it through was really wonderful and a beautiful thing to be a part of.
I actually like the way it ended because it kind of ended, it came full circle.
Right, yes.
With
Well, you know
Ted
what
and
people are
Robin.
telling me now, which is super interesting, is that they're saying the way we watched it, which was on every Monday night at what were we, 8:30 or something. So it's on every Monday night, and you're doing this for 9 years. And so when Robin and Ted ended up together, it was like weird for everyone because they've been on this journey for 9 years. But then now I meet people and it's streaming.
Yeah.
And they watch it in like 4 days, like a crazy person. 'Cause there's like 220 episodes or something. And they watch it and they don't have a problem with it because they see this whole journey happen. And I go, oh, that makes sense to me. Where the story is about Robin and Ted and how they eventually end up together. But quite honestly, I mean, the way I feel about the show is like, there's so many episodes that I'll meet people and they're like, but in episode, 73, this happened. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, like, it's so hard to remember all of them. But what I love so much is that the fans love it. Like, they love it still. Like, I'll be in freaking Bulgaria, and they'll be like, Robin! And it's so cool to be a part of something that has, that people like love it. I've never met a person who's like, I hated it. It made me miserable. It's only like, I love that show. It made me so happy, or I got through something because I watched this, and I was like, that's a wonderful thing to be a part of and bring into the world.
There are so many great storylines and things that were brought back throughout the whole series. So it kind of felt like you were part of the larger story, I think.
Yeah.
Probably things you don't even remember at this point.
I don't remember nothing. Like, it's very hard for me to pull
I almost feel like there's so much talk about reboots and spin-offs. I just feel like with this kind of show, it's sort of like...
me this. I mean,
right,
we just were on TV.
Yeah, but also they flash forward a lot. So I don't know how it would even fit in. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I get asked that every time. Every time I'm like, I mean, we were just on every week. Like, aren't you sick of us? So I don't know. Who knows? I don't think now. I think it's too soon, but talk to me in 20 years, I might need a job.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, you're definitely keeping busy. Since you left How I Met Your Mother, during that time, you were doing a lot of the Avengers stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's a totally different scene for you.
Was, yeah.
I mean, what's the thrill of being involved in that universe?
Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. Yeah, I mean, you're really bringing me back because I remember when I got the first one. I don't remember what season it was on, but I was definitely on the show. And I think my husband was more excited about the whole thing because he's like a crazy comic book guy. And he's like, and when I auditioned for it, I didn't know what I was auditioning for.
Oh, really?
No, I was like, Joss calls and you just go when you talk, you just do that. And so I auditioned and amazed that I got it. And there's so many movies and so many different new characters that have been added to it. So it's a really wonderful thing to be a part of, and going back to the fans too. I mean, it's so cool to go to these conventions and meet everybody and to be a part of something that also brings so much joy to people. It's so fun. And for me, it's just cool. Like, I love doing stunts and I love doing action stuff, and it's like the most make believe that I could probably do at my job.
And you do a lot of your own stunts on it too.
Yeah, I don't get to do a lot of. This is usually my stunt. Come in.
As an agent.
That's like what I do. I'm really good at Bluetooth. She nails Bluetooth. But I've done little things, and then I did this movie with Tom Cruise called Jack Reacher, and that was a lot of stunts. So I think that like the Avengers stuff kind of got me excited about it and helped sort of prepare me for that type of film.
Well, we hope we see Maria again,
Yes.
although I don't know.
Who knows?
I mean, the way we left you
She's
off.
straight up dusted.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so nothing you can share, I'm sure, yet.
No. I like my job.
Yeah.
I want to keep working.
Okay, we want you to keep working
character.
too. So
Yes.
we'll keep that. Okay, well, we were so glad that you were able to share your story with us
Yes,
today.
thank you.
And we have some questions from the crowd about it.
Oh, sure, yes,
So
of course.
Before we let you wrap, let's do it.
Somebody want to talk?
Hi.
I saw you on the way in. Hi.
Yeah, hi. So I also had an issue with my ovaries, and I had a mass, and it was removed. So I was 16 at the time, and I completely understand, what you went through. And I was just wondering if you had any advice for yourself when you were 25. Like, what would you say?
Myself at 25, first of all, I'm sorry that you went through that, and I hope you're doing okay now.
Hey, I'm better now.
You're doing good? Okay,
Yeah,
good. It's funny, I was just speaking to somebody else earlier, and they work with a patient who was 15 who went through ovarian cancer. And I think that ovarian cancer is sort of, you see people who are dealing with it, and they're women who are in their 50s and their 60s. It's something that usually hits later in life, and it's really important for people to see people like me and you to know that this also happens at younger ages as well. But yeah, I mean, I think that if I had advice to give myself or to anyone going through it at a young age who's dealing with the fear of fertility issues and having the future of having children, I think it's like to educate yourself as much as possible. I mean, I did so much research. I did so many things, and I found the things that worked for me. I found the different things that made me healthier. But I think really what it comes down to is just like keep it mellow. Like through all of this, just to be kind to yourself, like I said earlier, to appreciate yourself, to find a really good support system, and to take care of yourself. I think that we are an overstressed society. I think that we all take on too much, and I think it's important to know that those two things are somewhat connected.
And it was spot on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's so funny that you're that I could have pulled any country. I never went to Bulgaria. I completely made that up. But that's amazing.
Oh, that's great. All right, who's next?
Hi.
I just want to say thank you for coming and sharing your story.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I had a question about what advice would you give to someone who is experiencing pain but doesn't necessarily know how to communicate that to their doctor?
Oh, that's a really good question. Pain is a tricky thing, right? It is sort of like, is this real or isn't this real? I mean, I find myself sometimes just going to the doctor because I'm like, I need to check it out because I've gone through this thing, and I have to say there are times where I like kind of make myself a little crazy about it, right? But I think that there is pain, and I think, it's funny, I tell this to my kids too, where it's like, okay, if it's still painful tomorrow, we'll go get it checked out, and I think that it's important to have those doctors to go to have a physician in your life, a person who understands medicine. It is not good to just put it in the Google and just go, okay, pain in abdomen. Like that's not a good thing. That's not a good way to do it because that will cause, you just don't want to Google any sort of illness because it makes you feel very worried. But I also say, like, there's so many chat groups, specific to ovarian cancer, to whatever illness that you're facing, or if there's pain, you go to a doctor and they say it could be this. I would talk to people who have had that experience, who've lived kind of through what you're living with. In terms of pain, like, I think it will guide you to where you're going, and then you should go and speak to somebody. And if you don't have health insurance, you go to a free clinic, and you go to somewhere where they're going to give you help for free. Always go see a doctor.
Great. Thanks you for that question. I think we have time for one more question.
Hi.
Hi.
So
I love you walking up here.
happy to walk up here. I was wondering, there's a lot of fear that comes when we feel like there's something wrong with our bodies. So I was just wondering, do you have any advice for how to overcome fear of admitting that maybe something is wrong?
Fear over admitting, like fear of like actually having...
Like going to the doctor.
Going to the doctor.
That
I see what you're saying.
Something's wrong, yeah.
I mean, I think you have to think about your life and how you want to live your life. And for me, there is no shame in being educated. And the worst case scenario is the doctor tells you like you're okay, and then you can sleep better at night. I've never personally dealt with like fear. I almost like doctors too much. So I'm trying to figure out mentally what that's like. And I've had some people in my life who have a fear of, I have a fear of hospitals now just because I have to spend too much time in them. But I think that you have to sort of have a longer outlook of your life and go, it's just something that you cannot hold fear of. Like you need to seek treatment if you need treatment, whether that's for your body, for your mind. You need to seek out help as soon as possible if it's bothering you. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks for those questions.
Yeah.
And thank you, Cobie, for coming by Bill today. We're so
gosh.
excited that this was your first
Yes.
time here.
Yes, it's so
And
cool.
I hope you had a great time.
Thank you.
And tell us one more time how we could find out more information about the initiative.
Yeah, I also want to mention one more thing. So you can go to notonmywatch.com. Also, if you share the PSA that you saw earlier at the beginning, Tesaro, who's the company that I'm pairing with for this campaign, will pay $5 towards ovarian cancer outreach. So it's a very good cause. It's one click, and then you send $5. It's very exciting. So please do that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Cobie. And give it up one more time. Cobie Smulders, everyone.
Thank you, guys.